Welcome back, family. It's Team Ohana. I'm your host, Rich, and I'm not a henchman. I'm actually a Magoon, but I got this shirt when I was a henchman. I upgraded myself to a goon. So, and what is that in reference to? Rob's Fast Acts of Comics Curing Cancer. Come on, guys. You got to get with the program. We're here for the CovrPrice Top 20 for today, which is February 17, 2025. They've got their top 10 and then the 10 honorable mention. So we've got 20 books to look at today on their list. We'll count them down and look at why it's hot, whether it's a good time to buy it. Generally, if it's on the hot list, it's not. And then I'll try to make a pick at the end of my boom and my bust. What is the absolute worst choice based on current prices, and what is at least has a chance to go up? If not, it's the one that will go down the least, in my opinion. If you disagree, I want to know. All right, so we've got Robert Monroe and Robert Monroe both checking in here. We've got hope everybody had a great weekend. Rich and my fellow coconuts. Yes, absolutely. And he says it so nicely. He says it twice. All right, yeah. Oh, Robert, yeah. So I got your message that you saw Captain America: Brave New World, and he's pretty close to the same opinion as myself. He gave it an 8, and I give it a 7.5. I didn't get a chance to really converse with him, but real quick, I will say that after watching that, and I don't want to give any spoilers about anything, so don't worry about that. Just give it my rating. I really, really feel we need a live action series of Isaiah Bradley. Okay, sorry, we need it. That character is. They've given series to characters that are less deserving than that. How about that? And that's a great story to be told. And I think they've primed us enough with, like wet our whistle enough that we want that meal. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get into this list. Like I said, we've got the top 20, and I've already got my picks of the boom and the bust ready. So this way, there's not too much going on as far as like I don't know what to pick, like I usually do. Also, just a heads up, there are four books that are on the list for option news, and 3 of them I've never heard of before. And as of next week, I'll never hear from him again. Just like every week, we seem to have a brand new book at number 1 for option news. So now we got a brand new 1, 2, and 3. Option news does not mean anything, guys. It doesn't even mean they're going to make a show. It just means that somebody's bought the rights to it. Okay, let's just get into this list before I get too aggravated. I feel like I'm getting road rage at comic books. Jeez. Coming in number 20, we've got Venom Lethal Protector number 1. Now, this is kind of cool. I haven't seen this one on the list for a little bit, unless there's a Venom movie about to come out. And it's actually made it up onto the list, it's really nice to see that. We've got a lot of different Venom books that are premiering now. The new Venom Carnage, the new Carnage book. You've got the new series with the new Venom. So of course that's got renewed interest. I'm sure that is what's causing people to go out and go after this one. It's funny, as I was going to say that it's easy. It's not that hard to get a 9.8, except for me. My one copy is a 9.6, believe it or not. It's a foil cover. There are 9.9s, as you see. 9.8 is going for 124. It's up a little bit from FMV. 9.6 is at 76. For a foil book, honestly, I wouldn't be spending 76 for a 9.6. And honestly, I think I'd be happy if I sold mine for 75 to 80 bucks. I would definitely put the money in for 124 for a 9.8. Now, there's a lot of copies out there. There's a lot of 9.8s. Near Mint's going for 27. That's the most recent sale. I can't go by the Near Mint Plus. That was practically a month ago. Yeah, right now it's a little bit hot because of what's going on, but this is a book. It's a cool cover. It's a foil cover, and it's kind of like what do you call it? Spawn number 1. It's so popular, and there's enough copies out there that it'll always have some cool value. I'd wait for it to die down a little bit. Right now, it's got a little bit of a bump because of all the Venom books coming out. Speaking of Spawn number 1, we've got that at number 19. I'm the master of segue. No, I'm not. Issue number 1 of Spawn. It's first full appearance of Spawn, first appearance of Sam and Twitch, and that other character, whatever. Malabolgia. Anyway, this one I do have a 9.8. This one always seemed to be going for like the 130 to 135 range, and it did pop up to like 145, 150. It's coming back down again. The last sale was 140. I think this might be a good time for you to grab a copy at 135. You could, talk to a dealer saying, look, yeah, it was going up. Now it's coming back down again. If you want to get stuck with it, you go right ahead. Play hardball with it. There's enough copies out on the market that if you go to any show, you're gonna if there's 10 dealers, probably 9 of them have this. So um, they're all trying to move this to free up the cash to buy other books. Near mints, look at this, $10 for the last near mint sale, and that was just a couple of days ago. So there's perpetually news about a reboot. I don't think we're ever going to see it. But it's one of those cool books that you want to get into your collection. It's an homaged book. So again, looking for that 130 to 135 range. I know last sale was 140, but play hardball. Why not? Like I said, there's enough copies out there. Number 18, we've got the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Rivals, the Natties cover from January 8th. Again, I'm not a big fan of these covers. I know that they're all the Marvel Rivals. I'm wondering if there's skins on the inside of these, and that's what's causing them to go up for the Marvel Rivals themselves. If so, then this is video game related, and these never hold value at that point. See, a 9.8 sold on January 10th. Can't really go by that. It's the only sale, it looks like. Near mint plus near mint going for 30, near mint plus a couple weeks ago for 27. So it looks like it has gone up a little bit, but again, I'm not crazy about the cover. Maybe it has a skin available for the Marvel Rivals game inside, at which point when everybody plays the game and they don't want the skin anymore, it will not hold value. Just like every other comic book that has ever had a skin or video game reference or something redeemable in it. Once it's past that point, the book itself doesn't hold value. Of all the Marvel Rivals books, maybe the Magic one, because it's also a first appearance. The Storm one was kind of cool, but I didn't like the way they drew her face. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to get myself on here for a second. Just want to take a quick look. Yeah, that's the only Marvel Rivals on the list. So, where this was really a dominating book a couple weeks ago, now the Spider-Man is on it, and the Magic's off, the Storm is off. None of the others are on the top 20 this week. So I think that the interest has already started to wane on this. Coming up next, we have the Hulk issue number 1, the Ed McGuinness. Says first appearance of Red Hulk. Again, I'm pretty sure that even though he appears on the cover, he does not appear in the story until like issue 3. However, we did get Red Hulk in the Captain America Brave New World movie, which again, I thought was pretty good. There are absolutely some things in there that I would have changed. I didn't, and things that I watched, I went, really? They had to do that? But we're not going to the movies for the MCU to get Shawshank Redemption, okay, or Jaws. I mean, when we do, we wind up with Endgame, with what do you call it, Infinity War, with what do you call it, Civil War. Those are what makes those movies stand out and become so amazing. Brave New World is a pretty good movie. It's it's better than the offerings that they've given us lately. It's a step in the right direction. But Red Hulk, I don't know if we're going to see him again in the MCU. I didn't think that they portrayed him properly in the movie. I mean, they did good, but they didn't. They took the bat, walked up to the plates. They see a fastball, and I feel like they just like slapped at it and hit a single instead of taking that big hard cut and going for the home run. So I think that's the best way I could say that. I think that this book is definitely going to cool off. It's already trending down almost 8%. That's a big number for these. 133 for a 9.6, 225 for a 9.8. That number is going to drop. Especially since the book that most people want is the one that has that question mark on it. 2 different versions. One is just the Ed McGuinness 1 in 50, and the other one is limited to 5,000, the Atomic Comics uh, Hero one. Those both go for a bit more money, but I think that this book is going to now start its downward trend. And if you want this book, just wait 2 months, and it'll be definitely lower than it is now. I'd say 9.8s are going for 225. I'd say you're probably gonna be looking more like 160 within 2 months. So if you haven't gotten it before this point, don't. This is the wrong time to do it. Next up, we've got The Century, issue number 1 from 2000. First appearance of The Century, Robert Reynolds, also known as Bob. And if you've watched the trailers, have you watched anything about the what do you call it? The Thunderbolts coming out, which I have very high hopes for. I'm not saying expectations, but I will say hope. Kenneth Bird saying hi to everyone who's here tonight. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, sir? I think I don't know what's going to happen with this character. This is the Marvel equivalent, their answer to Superman, I guess you'd say, but he has a dark side. So I don't know what's going to happen with that character by the end of the movie. The book is up a little bit. It's $300 for a 9.8. But if you look at it back in 2021, this book was hitting $1,000 in a 9.8. 9.6 is going for 150, which is a little bit off of FMV, not too much. And near mint copy is selling for 65. Sorry. Now, this is a very condition sensitive book because of that black border all the way around. It shows everything. And getting a 9.8 in this really is a coveted book. But historically, what's been going on the last 2 years is the peak seems to be when the trailer drops. Before that, it used to be when the movie drops, the opening day of the movie. But now it seems like once the trailer drops, the full-length trailer, that seems to be the highest point. So this book is already starting to go down a little bit, and it may continue. It will continue to go down, but its bottom is going to depend upon what happens to this character in the movie. If he is if he has a potential to be used going forward in other things, then this book can hold some value. If it really drops off, like they kill off the character, which I don't see them doing. Matter of fact, because you can't, unless they just redo his powers completely. But if they did something like that, then this book is going to tank. I don't think they're going to, though, and I think this book can have some long-term run. Like I said, the prices should already start coming down. And it's a condition sensitive book, so this one's not that terrible to keep your eye open for. If you have a really good eye for 9.8s in a raw condition, then finding one for $65 is really, it's down from 82. And I see the Very Fine sold the day after for 86. Go figure that one. Look at this. Very Fines is selling for more than near mints. Fines is selling for more. I don't know what people are paying for these days. Somebody got a book that was listed as near mint for 65. I'm willing to bet if you went and looked at the sales data, it's going to be higher than that. But 300-ish for a 9.8 really isn't that bad when you consider how hard it is to get that sucker in a 9.8. It's almost as hard as getting a Kanto. All right, so next on the list, we've got The Incredible Hulk's $4.49, the first appearance of the Thunderbolts. We're not going to call ourselves the Thunderbolts, the Thunderbolts. And we've got the new movie coming out, and I think I got this one on a 9.6, not a 9.8. 9.8s are going for $275. 9.6s are going for $110. So again, we've passed the trailer, and it's now started coming down a bit. 9.6s are down $20 from FMV. 9.8s are down $9 from FMV. Raws near mints are selling for $5 more than what and Very Fine's rate at. So again, this is another one that once the movie hits, it will start coming down a bit in price. I think, even though I want the movie to succeed, I don't see this book being a long-term investment. Highest points, though, look at this, a 9.8 in 2022. Wow. $2,160 somebody paid for this book in a 9.6, 9.8. Now it's almost 90% off. Wow. I can't believe somebody spent $2,000 on this book. But yeah, I remember this book going through the absolute roof. Well, I think it's got more to come down, unfortunately, for the person that paid 2,000. Next on the list, Fantastic Four number 49. I'm surprised we're not seeing 48 on this list. It may be that the price is just it's out of people's range, so it's not getting the quantity of sales, and people are going for that first full appearance of Galactus, second appearance of Silver Surfer, and it's the first time Silver Surfer and Galactus are on the cover. Um, and it's not a cloud; it's actually Galactus. Uh, we've got that FF trailer, which shows Galactus, and it's funny. I thought of him as being looking too small in the trailer, but as I really started to think about it and reflect on it, Galactus has the ability to change his own size. So it could be in that scene that he's shrinking himself down so that he is able to have a conversation with Reed Richards or somebody. Who knows? The cover itself is an iconic cover, and you may recognize the Fantastic Four at the bottom running. That is used on the CG, one of the most popular CGC labels for the Fantastic Four. Now let's discuss price. uh, I'm going to go with recent sales, stuff that is in from 2025. We got 9.0s going for 4,700, 8.5s for 2,750. That's a big drop off. It's a really big drop off. 2,750 to an 8 for an 8.5. Yeah, look at that. And I'm not going to count that 8.0 because that's back in December. This is just right here in February. 7.5 here in February for 1698. That 8.0 just doesn't hold water. 6.5, 810. That's not a terrible price. But then a 6.0 went for 1,000. Now that could also be page quality. You may have a white page 6.0 and a cream page 6.5. You don't know. 5.5 just sold for 3.9. No, that was back in January. 5.0, 570, 4.0, 558. There's 3.5 at 500, and that's actually my grade, right? I can turn my head. Yes, I do have a 3.5, and it is a white page, so I'm okay with that. But I did not pay $500 for that. Wow. Raws. Let's see. Near mint Raws, $10. Yeah, that's a facsimile. I don't even believe the 572. No, that 572 got pulled down by the $10. The very fine's 1,600 for a very fine raw. So that'd be a 7 to an 8.5, which is in the right range. Okay. Fine, 498. Yeah, these numbers seem correct, except for the near mint, of course. Now, what do I think the price is going to do? I think this price is going to creep up a little bit. We only got the teaser trailer. We haven't gotten the main trailer yet. If you see more of Galactus in the trailer, it's in the full trailer. And if you see Silver Surfer, which you're not going to see Norrin Red, you're going to see the female one, I believe. Remember, it's an alternate universe, so don't everybody freak out and poo-poo. Carson Reed, hey, how's it going? I think this book may go up a bit, a little bit more, not tremendously. Because I think a lot of people want to have these books. The 48, I think, has already priced itself out of most people's range. So they're going for that 49. And once that starts to really, get out of people's range, they're going to go for number 50. This, like I said, the book has a little bit more room to go, but I think once the movie hits, it's going to come down a little. It's not going to crash. It's too much of a classic book. Okay. This book did not go up in value because of the movie. This book has always been an expensive book. It's for decades. So, you're going to get fluctuations in the market. If I were you, I would honestly wait a little bit to get it. Maybe after, say about September, it may come down a little bit, but it's tough. Just be very frugal if you're trying to find it, though. Next up on the list, we have the Peach Momoko Fantastic Four number 28. This is another one of the Marvel rivals. And as far as the rivals, I don't mind this cover too much. because it doesn't have the three panel that I just don't like, and the artwork is good because it has background, and that's where I think Peach Momoko really excels. And it's not Galactus. This is Galactus's daughter. I can't remember her name, and it's Jeff on it. So it's a nice little pairing. I know Rob really hates that cover because he hates it's Jeff. Um. All right. So what do we got here? This is January 22nd, and let's see, $60 for a 9.8. The highest price was 110 on January 22nd, but one just sold for 60 a couple days ago. Near mints raws are selling for $9. Why? Because it's not in the tease cover. It's still a Momoko. It's a better cover in my opinion. So Natise is the flavor of the month, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but for $9, yeah, what the heck? It's a cool book. You can't really go too wrong with it. I don't think it's ever going to go up in value, but it really can't go drop down that much more from $9. Okay, next up we have the Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Batman's not on the list anymore. Absolute Wonder Woman is still holding strong. This is issue number 1. This is the regular cover A, and prices are still holding about the same. It's just quantitative sales. Look at 854 total recorded sales on this book. 9.8 selling for 65, which is just about where it's been. It's like 58.60. Oh, you booger, you booger, you. We're just gonna knock this tennis ball back and forth, aren't we? Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics has gifted 5 Team Ohana memberships. I really appreciate that. It also means I'm going to have to redo the end credit scene again. Thanks a lot. My editing skills are not that good, man. Guys, if you are, like I said earlier, if you're not following Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics and Comics Here in Cancer and the Comic Vet and TJ Links and the whole crew over there, then you really need to seek professional help. I mean, this is an opportunity to not only watch great content, get free books, but also help fight cancer. I mean, I don't know how much more that you could possibly do. So, uh, thank you very much, my friend. Hey, well, if you're listening to this real quick, are you planning on doing the con in, was it North Carolina? Where did I beat you last year? Because I want to go again, and I can't remember what the heck con that was. Meatwad number 1. Meatwad, hey, Space Case Collectibles, Joshua Davis, Olin TV, and Brother John Comics. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm gonna have to make sure that I get those all onto the end credit scene to say thank you to them. And Heroes Con. Okay. Yeah, because Mrs. Ohana is going to come along this time because she really, really wants to meet you. Okay. So, and I'm going to try to get there on a Saturday this time. So if Chris is there, I don't miss him like I did last year. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So, getting back to this, this is a book that it just seems to be holding steady at that price. I think it's going to for a while. In the long run, it'll probably come down a little bit. But if you buy one for 9.8 for 65, and it comes down to 55, 60, it's not terrible. Near mint raw is going for 13 to 15. If it comes down to 10 and you lost $5, it's not terrible. I don't think it's going to go up. There's just too many copies that were printed, but it's still a cool book to see on the countdown perpetually. Have to just check this real quick. Okay, so we have one more before the mid break where I say thank you to all the members. Earth X, issue number 12. And this is the first cover appearance and one-page cameo appearance of Shalabal. That's the name I couldn't think of before, as the Silver Surfer. And I believe this is the version of Silver Surfer that we're going to get in the Fantastic Four movie this summer. Again, a lot of people are already like, oh my God, they made the Silver Surfer a female. Blah, blah. Okay, well, Silver Surfer was female in comic books for a little bit. This is an alternate universe, which I believe they're going to wind up going through a wormhole. maybe even causing an incursion or whatever. Winding up, that's how they're going to get into Earth 616. But I don't think the Silver Surfer is going to come along with them. I would be much. I believe you may even see a cameo of Norrin Rad at the end of Fantastic Four to really emphasize that they're in a different universe. That would actually be a really cool way of doing it. And I think when that happens, this book is going to tank bad. Okay, so May 10th, 9.8 was selling for $350. It's currently going for $229. When we get the full trailer, if you see the female Silver Surfer, this book is going to have a little bit of a bump up. Not to mention, I really don't mind all the adult cosplayers that may be dressed up as this character going forward. So it's just, yeah, I don't mind that one. But when the movie ends and this character is obviously not going to be going forward, I think this book is going to tank badly. So I would avoid this one. Okay, so like I said, we have reached the halfway point, and I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to all the members that I knew I had before the show. And I will make sure that I get these names added for the next show, so you can see your name in lights. But at the same time, though, thank you to all the people that help support the channel. I just want to take, like I said, my little 20 seconds here, 25 seconds to say thank you to each one of you guys, whether you're a YouTube member or a Patreon member. This channel helps. I mean, you help to keep this channel going, and you're always really, really appreciated. Stick around. We're about to hit the top 10 right into this. All right. So now we're going to be hitting the top 10 of CovrPrice for today, February 17th. Got to jump right in to number 10. We've got the Fantastic Four 209 Newsstand Edition. It's a 1979 book. So I guess people are looking for those high grade newsstands, but don't be fooled. Remember, in 1979, about 85% of the books that were printed were newsstands. So you're either looking at that year, you're either going to look, if you want the non-newsstand, you want the one with the line through it, or Spider-Man's head. I don't know the exact month it switched over. But this is the first appearance of Herbie, which is the little robot that's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. I don't care about Herbie. If anybody cared about Herbie, he'd still be in the comic books. Little robots were very, very popular in 1979, 1980, 1981. Everybody thought that if you put a robot in the show, it would be just like R2-D2 or C-3PO. It didn't work that way just because you made a robot. And no, it's a little comedy sidekick. So 9.8 of this book is at $2.99, last sale on February 9th, which we saw this last week, actually. There's been no sale since. No sale of a 9.6 since. Raws are selling for $35 for very fine and $50 for near mint. Now, the one thing I will say is, even though I don't think it's worth buying the book for $300 for Herbie, I will say that $300 for a 1979 Fantastic Four book with that much black on the cover in a 9.8, that itself is not a terrible investment. But I don't think it's going to go up in value because of Herbie. I think it may go up in value because people are going to try to, go for those real high grade comic books. And this book is now, 46 years old. We're just 4 years away from this being half a century old. So 9.8 is not a terrible investment. But the wrong time, though. You can get a better deal once maybe Herbie gets smashed or stepped on by Galactus and they don't rebuild him. Okay. All right, next on the list, we have the Spawn issue 356 Mark Spears art is still hyped, just like Momoko was last year, and McFarlane is every other moment. Um, I believe he has two different covers on the list this week. The other one is later on. I believe let me see if I can take a quick gander here. It's, I think, no, no, no. Oh, it's in two more books. Okay. So this is actually trending upwards a little bit, but I have looked at, I'm going to bring myself back here. Took a look today and I saw that the Mark Spears Monsters #1 cover A has settled down a little bit in price. It's not going for that crazy $650 anymore than 9.8, but it's still holding at about 450 to close to 500. The Mark Spears Monsters is a limited series. It's not an ongoing series. So once that ends, unless he's got something else that comes out, Mark Spears interest is going to wane. At which point, all these other covers that nobody really cared about when they first came out, but everybody was trying to go find Mark Spears art because of this, they're going to go back down to their regular values. That being said, I don't think this is from September 4th, but it only gained notoriety because of Mark Spears Monsters. It didn't make, the cover didn't mysteriously get better. The print run didn't mysteriously get shorter. It's just that there was more interest because, oh, that's Mark Spears. I got to have it. When he dies down, so will the book. So let's not waste our money. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue #1. This is the prequel to the animated series, first appearance of Susan O'Hara. So I watched the 3 episodes that dropped last week. It was one scene where I literally laughed out loud. And I still say that the series is good, but I like his interactions. I like the screen time better when it's Peter Parker on the screen than when it's Spider-Man. When Spider-Man's on the screen and the fights and everything else, they're good, but it's more interesting watching what's going on with everybody when he doesn't have the mask on. And I think everybody that speculated on this book bought a copy or two. So I think there's more than enough copies out there. I see the trend is down a little bit. There's a bunch of different copies. That one's up 2%. That one's up. Marvel Animation one is up 13% to 12 in a raw. But this one, the highest known value on February 10th was 23. Now I see the last near mint sold for, on the same day, $12 instead of 23. 13 for a near mint. No, that one, it might have been a 23 for a near mint. It just says raw. Now the last sale is 13. And I see the FMV is 14. So the 13 dragged it down to 23 was the high point. All right. So it was selling for 23 a week ago. Now it's selling for 13. It's probably going to come down a little bit more because there's just too many copies and everybody who wanted it bought it. Remember, you could pre-order these things. You knew it was coming out. People bought copies of it. Next up, we've got Gunslinger Spawn. There's your other Mark Spears. This one's from 2023. It's got the Violator on the cover. I got to admit, that is a cool cover. The face and the fur on the cat, really, really good detail on this. This might be one of his better works, in my opinion. And I do like the stuff he's done on the Monsters run. But I think the detail he put into this is really, really good. All the links in the chain, that's a cool cover. I got to give that one a lot of credit. The price is up 43%. Why? Again, is the book more desirable than it was? Is it a first appearance? No. Is it less of a print run than it was 2 weeks ago? No. It's just that did the book change the way it looks? No. Oh, it's Mark Spears. I didn't realize it was Mark Spears. I must pay more for it. That's because of the hype, and it'll go down. A 9.8 sold in 2023 for $53. Okay. So in 2023, nobody cared. $53 for 9.8. Now, Raws are selling for 27. $20 for a near mint, 27 for a near mint plus. That's back in January. So a 9.8 now would probably run you about $140. Don't buy it. Wait for it. Right now, I guarantee you that these are being flooded into CGC, fast tracked and everything else. And within 3 weeks, you're going to see listings on eBay, slab in hand, ready to go with a ridiculous price. Don't buy it. Wait for it. It's a cool book. I'm going to put this on my radar to get in a couple of months when the hype type dies down. I never saw it before, but I like that cover. So, first one of the 4 option books is The Kill Lock. This was on the list last week as well. Issue number 1 from December 25th, 2019 from IDW, down almost 20% here. 9.8 sold in 2020 for $70, and that's the last sale of that. A 9.6 sold for $36. Near Mints is selling for $19, and that's dropping down. I think, option news, people couldn't find them. Dealers had to go to their storage units, dig through and find all their copies, pull them out. Now there's a plethora. You don't get to use that word very often. A plethora of copies available, and less people are interested because there's 3 new books, places 1, 2, and 3 on the hot list of option news books. Next up, we have Invincible War Aftermath. This is a first appearance of Conquest. I am not an Invincible fan or follower, but I'm going to assume that this book is shooting up because Conquest is making an appearance on the show. It's a cool cover. All the covers on Invincible are cool. I got to say that. It's 2009, but it's also trending downwards 10%. The highest known value, just recent, $285 for a 9.8. And Near Mint selling for $67. That's also recent. Let's look at the sales data real quick on this. 9.8s prior to the sale. Wow, 150, 140, 160. Yeah, pretty much in December it was going for around the 150 to 160 range. Now it's selling for 250, 285. This is the highest it has ever been. Okay. So if the book is at its absolute highest point, then that's the wrong time to go and buy it. Even my computer didn't like that one. So yeah, I would. Now, I don't know enough about the series to make a call on it. Me personally, I'm going to avoid it because when a book spikes like this, it's because of a specific reason. When that reason is no longer applicable or is old news, the book goes back down to its regular price. Okay. Next up, we've got Daredevil Direct Edition number 227 from 1986. Direct Edition was just starting to pass newsstand at this point. Kingpin discovers Daredevil's identity and part 1 of Born Again. All right, so several things here. One, Kingpin, if the Netflix series is canon, Kingpin knew Daredevil's identity already. Sorry. We know from the trailer that he's having a conversation with him, that he knows his identity. So it's not like he's discovering it. So that part of this is not important. The part 1 of Born Again is, and based on the trailer, again, with the mural that you see on one of the walls at one point, it's actually got like the full Born Again logo, and it really does look good. This is going to get a lot of hype. Now, I'm scared to say this one's going to die down because we've got the test screenings already of Daredevil, and it's very, very positive. They've already greenlit and started shooting season 2. I believe they've already greenlit season 3. And this is supposed to be bloodier / more violent than the Netflix series. Now, I don't need it to be bloody. I just don't want it to feel like it's being reined back. Just let the story flow organically. And look, Punisher, Wilson Fisk, and Daredevil, none of them are, like lightly tap you kind of people. We've also got Muse in this, and White Tiger. Violence is going to be understood. It's rated TVMA. again, as long as it doesn't seem like it's violence for the sake of just being bloody. Oh, we're gonna make it bloodier. No, just make a good story. If it happens to be bloodier, it is. Born Again is a bloody story. Muse is a bloody character. Um, if Born Again really does take off the way it is, this book may actually see higher amounts. So, Stinker Buns is here. Saw Brave New World today. I thought it was pretty good. I rated the same area as you and Robert. Awesome. Robert's the godfather of Timo, complete with the goons and henchmen. Absolutely. Hey, if you want to have a meeting with Rob, we'll set it up for you. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, Stinker Buns. I was saying earlier in the broadcast, you saw it. I'm not going to get into anything, but Isaiah Bradley, we need this story. We need this as a Disney Plus series. 6 issues. Somebody, Disney, make it happen. Okay. I think if this series is as good as it can be, and this is a really, really cool cover with Kingpin in the background there, this could actually go up a little bit more. Just like every time we saw the Daredevil fight the Punisher, we got that one book that spikes every time with Daredevil and Punisher's first time fighting. If Born Again is good, this could be the book that spikes up every time season 2 trailer drops. Boom, there you go. Especially if they consider that they keep calling it Daredevil Born Again. If it's Daredevil Born Again season 2, Daredevil Born Again season 3, okay. If it's Daredevil in a different storyline and they take away the Born Again, then maybe not so much. But Near Mint's going for $10. FMV of 20. I see the Very Fine for 17 and the Near Mint Plus for 90. So I think that $10 is wrong. That should be closer to like 35, 40. 9.8 selling for 190. That's a little bit high because I think more books are going to hit the graders. I wouldn't mind trying to find a nice Near Mint raw on this and shooting for around $30 on it. I think this has potential to hold value. Next up on the list, we've got another one of the option books. We're taking everyone down with us. This is actually, no, sorry, this is not an option book. This one just came out. Stefano Landini's special preview edition from Image. I'm not familiar with this book at all. I didn't see it on the pull list. I didn't see it in the stores. This is a preview edition. Oh, I see. They haven't even released the books yet. So issue number 1 is, I'm just clicking on it to find out. It's not coming out till March 26th. All right. So I don't know where this one was available from last week. Maybe you could pre-order it. I didn't see it on the pull list anywhere. Selling for last sale $6. Okay. Cover price was $5. If the story is no good, it doesn't matter if it's a preview edition. What's really scary is if the story's not that good, people are not impressed with this, they've just killed the sales of the regular book that's going to come out in a month. So I hope the story's good, guys. I'm not going to find out. Next up, we have Basket Full of Heads from 2019 from DC. So we have the Joe Hill House Comics. Okay. $8 for a Near Mint, $48 for a 9.8 3 days ago. Highest known sale was in 2023 for $65. I have no idea why it's hot. I don't care. It's a DC book. If it was a good storyline, it would still be being printed. If people liked it, it would still be being printed. So if I happen to find it in a back issue bin, I'll offer it up on New Comic Book Day, but I'm not going to count on that. Yeah, it's going for $8 to $10 in Near Mint and Near Mint Plus. So it's another meh. All right, coming in at the number 1 spot, we have Knights, issue number 1 from 2023 from Image Comics. It's an interesting looking cover there. Again, I'm not, I don't remember this book, but it's up 122%. A year and a half old book from Image, up that fast. I didn't even have to look it up. I'm like, oh, okay. It's that one's absolutely optioned. Don't know what for. Probably Amazon Plus or Apple TV or Peacock or Tubi or whatever. Highest known value was just a couple days ago for $26 for a raw. That's the near mint. Uh, let's see what the prices were a week ago. $5, $2.99, $2.27, $4.95, $3.59, $5, $3.69, $3.19. Yeah, nobody cared about this book. All of a sudden now it's got some kind of option news, and now it's going up. So, what have we learned about option news? Option news is whatever studio purchases the option to make the book. And it is exactly that. It's an option. Doesn't mean they're going to, it doesn't mean they're not going to. What it guarantees is that nobody else can. So let's just say Netflix is making a series and the storyline is pretty close to Knights, or it's, along the same idea. They purchase the option rights to this, so nobody else can make a story that's similar to the one they were already making. It does give them the right to make this story as well if they want to. So they have to make that decision. Then the next thing they have to do is they get the screenwriter, they get the casting, they hire a director, producer, the actors, they do all the casting and everything. They make a pilot. Let's just say it's a TV series. They make a pilot and they bring it to their corporate. And they show the pilot to them and to the test audiences. If it tests well, then they continue making more episodes. If not, then it just goes into the scrap heap and nobody in the world will ever see it. So, okay, so let's just say now it tests well. And then they make the series and it pops out. Now, doesn't mean the general public's going to love it. It might be Walking Dead. It might be Paper Girls. It might be Jupiter's Legacy. It might be The Old Guard. Okay, which as soon as they're gone. So, best case scenario, this book goes up a little bit in 3 years. And then drops back down. Even Walking Dead has gone down. Even The Last of Us has gone down. Sandman has gone down. The best of the best has not held their value. So there's no reason, in my opinion, to ever hunt down option news books. If they are going to make this, it's going to be in a year and a half to 2 years is when you're going to see it. So wait 6 months. Make yourself a little notepad and say, I'm going to look for Knights issue number 1 from 2023 in October of 2025. And I'm going to find this book for half the price because everybody else is going to have forgotten about it. Late, but still here. How's it going, Mr. Daredevil number 1 on a 4.0? Oh, man, I'm so happy for you on that. All right. So I have now gone through all 20 of the books. Larry was here to see number 1, which is the only one that really matters, right? And now I'm going to pick my boom and my bust. So the bust is the book that I think is the worst investment at current prices. Sometimes I pick it based on the amount of money that I think it's going to drop. Sometimes I pick it on the percentage of money that I think it's going to drop. Overall, it's usually a combination of the two. So, like if there's a book that's going for $6 and I think it's going to drop down to $3, I'm not going to worry about it. It's a 50% drop, but it's only $3. So if I lost $3, most people don't really care about that too much. My wallet is very light. Yes, it's no. You're right the first time. This spelling of LITE only applies to beer. But your wallet is so light it can't afford the extra letter. I think about it that way. All right, so my pick for bust of the week is the Earth X issue number 12, which it's a cool looking cover. Don't get me wrong, I love the cover. But I don't think $229 for a 9.8 of a book that by the end of the summer is going to be down to half that. I mean, we can't get characters that stay in the MCU to hold value. First appearance of Nebula. Okay. First appearance of Agatha. They don't hold value. First appearance of the High Evolutionary Silver Age books. we really think that this Silver Surfer book is gonna that of the character we know is not going to stay is going to hold value? No, absolutely not. All right, so now I have to pick my boom of the week. Now, is I would love to be able to pick up a book that I say is absolutely going to go up in value. Okay, and in the long run, we know that Fantastic 449 will, but in the short run, it's going to do a little bit of this. I'm picking one that most people would disagree with me on. Okay. And it's because I know what it was a couple of years ago, where it is now. Uh, and it's on the list because it's in a movie that's about to come out, which means it's destined to come down. But I just, for some reason, feel like this one may go up. I don't, it's a hunch. It really is a hunch. And I don't have great hunches. So if you buy it and it goes down, I'm not accepting responsibility on it. But I think that Century Number One has potential, and here's why. That black front page makes 9.8s a nightmare to get. And yes, the comic book industry, the comic book collectors, you, me, and just about everybody we meet at the LCS, we all know who Century is, but the general population of people that are the casual comic collectors, the ones that only know what they see in the movies, they don't know. They know they have a character named Bob from the trailer. That's it. When they see this character, they may get some renewed interest in it. We know in 2021, people were paying up to $1,000 for this book, and now it's down to 300 for a 9.8. I would be willing to spend $300 on a 9.8. I'd try to get it a little bit less, obviously, but that is a tough book to get at a 9.8. I mean, this is 2000, which is when Marvel's printing processes and their paper quality was not the greatest. Um, this is a tough book. And I think this has a chance. A chance once more people learn about Sentry, and depending upon how they use him in the MCU, this book could have an upside. So that's just my thoughts. Again, take it with a grain of salt because I don't always know what I'm talking about. As Mrs. Ohana, she'll verify that. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I want to once again say thank you to Rob for gifting 5 team memberships, which means I have to whack that tennis ball back into his court again. I hope I get home in time for the live stream. And congrats to Meatwad number 1, Space Case Collectibles, Joshua Davis, Alan TV, and Brother John Comics for becoming the members that were gifted to you. I'll try to make sure that I get you guys listed onto the end screen. So your name is up in lights. All right. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who tuned in, joined us, watched it on the replay, whichever. Please don't forget to click like, subscribe, click on notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. Tomorrow, you're going to have an unboxing video hitting YouTube. Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're going to be giving away some more new comics, and we're throwing in Bronze Age books now. Just trying to broaden the books that you have in your collections. And you know what? If you miss all of my shows, do not miss Only Slaps, especially this week, Saturday. Oh my God, great guest, DJ Links. All right, every week has got a great guest. What am I saying? And keep putting money into that piggy bank. Get ready for October's big comics curing cancer auction. Yes. If you're not going to buy something, at least make sure you donate something. We're going to go. What did he say we're going for? 55,000, 57,000? I want 60. Screw that. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. Till I see you in the next video, though. Mahalo.